I'm Billy the Kid. Surrender now, or you will be killed.
We know how to ride horses, the rough riders.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about the legend of Billy the Kid. You want me to do another one?
No.
Hello.
No, we're good.
Oh, all right.
We're good.
He was born William McCarty, known as Billy the Kid. As an adolescent, he stole cheese, and then he got arrested, and he escaped out of a nut house. That's when he felt like he was an outlaw. You know, these ranch owners and these landowners and these sheriffs were taking water and land and money from the Indians, the Mexicans, and Billy the Kid is the kind of guy that would be like, you're not gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot you and kill your people. Boom, 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 boom. And your sheriffs, maybe. He was loved by the Hispanic community, and he apparently had a lot of Latina women that loved him. But,
Did he date him?
oh, a lot of them. He loved the Latina women. There was these stories where he killed these people like Joe Grant. He was the local drunk apparently at this bar. And Billy the Kid was sitting there and he didn't recognize him. He said, if I ever met with the kid, I would kill him in cold blood, I'd murder him. And he's like, okay. And so Billy the Kid, he said, man, I love your ivory handle. And he turned it to where there was one blank on that revolver. And he said, hey, Joe Grant, I'm Billy the Kid. Oh, really? And he walked out, and then Billy the Kid turned around and shot that dude in the chin. In the chin. And, well, you're an ass. Boom, boom, boom. And what's crazy about Billy the Kid, he could sing in a way that no one else could sing. Let's try that. No. Like this mode. Hey, bitch. I'm like, oh, bitch. No, you're not. Pat Garrett was the sheriff and said, my one goal is to I'm gonna get Billy the Kid. He hunted down Billy the Kid. So they found him in a farmhouse, and they had the whole place surrounded. And one guy came out, and he decided to go feed the horse. And they shot him down and thought it was Billy the Kid. And they were like, we got Billy the Kid, we got him. And they realized that it wasn't him. So then they realized it wasn't him, and Pat Garrett said, well, shoot the horse down, shoot the horse down. There's no windows, there's no exit. And so they shot the horse down. And they put the dead horse, in front of the exit. And they put him in front of the exit, and no one else could get out. Billy the Kid, they found him in a farmhouse, and they surrounded him, and they started cooking breakfast. And they said, hey, Billy, hey, come have breakfast with us. And Billy said, you know what, he's f***ing us, so no, we're not gonna do that. And they were like, okay. So they kept cooking breakfast, and there was breakfast for a long time. And then Billy came out and said, you know what? There's nowhere else out. So we're gonna keep cooking breakfast. And Billy came out and said, you know, there's no way else out. So they all had breakfast together and Billy got arrested. Well, Billy the Kid shoots both of the prison guards and escapes from jail. He said, go to hell, bitches, go to hell. Well, go to hell. 3 months later, Pat Garrett finds one of his accomplices and they go to his house. And Billy comes in at midnight with a knife. No one knows who anyone is. And Billy says, ¿Quién es? Which means, who is it? Who is it? ¿Quién es? Who is it? Who is it? And Pat Garrett recognized Billy's voice because they knew each other from back in the day. And he shoots him 3 times. Shoots him twice in the chest, and then he misses once. It hits above the fireplace. And he's like, "The hell, man? Help." Pat Garrett shot Billy the Kid. I always say something about Billy. This is what Billy was. This is what Billy was. Billy the Kid. He was an outlaw. And he shot Joe Grant. Where he shot him in the jaw. Billy's in a farmhouse, but they killed the horse instead because they thought he was the one. Billy the Kid was shot in the dark. It's so dramatic. And that's Billy the Kid. I don't know.
Right, let's do it up, man. That was awesome.
Here you go, Billy Kid.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about my favorite president, Teddy Roosevelt. It's in April 18. Okay.
In the late 1890s,
President McKinley has declared war on Spain. Teddy Roosevelt is the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. The Secretary of War is a guy named Alger. Teddy says, "Alger, I want to go to war. I think this is what I need to feel like a man." And Alger laughed and he said, "Okay, man, if you really want this, I'll make you Lieutenant Colonel of the 1st U.S. Volunteer Cavalry Regiment." Teddy Roosevelt says, "There is no one in the world who's better suited to being a cavalry officer than a cowboy." He's got a big old dick. I spilled this all over my shirt. Teddy Roosevelt went to Texas, Oklahoma, the Indian Territories, and New Mexico. Teddy Roosevelt says to a bunch of cowboys, "Guys, what's up? I need your help. Spain sucks. The U.S. needs to go to war with Spain. Let's do this." The cowboys say, "Yeah, we're 100% game. We know how to ride horses." The Indians say, "You guys are probably gonna need trackers. We're cool. Like, some of the Apaches aren't cool with you guys, but we're cool with you guys." In addition to the cowboys and Indians, Teddy Roosevelt calls up his old Ivy League buddies and he says, "Guys, I'm going to war with Spain. I know you guys are not only super smart because you got into Ivy League schools, but you're also super tough because you play sports. So why don't you join my regiment?" So Teddy Roosevelt creates this army of 1,000 Ivy League athletes, cowboys, and Indians, the Rough Riders. Let's go right here.
Okay, wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah.
okay, are we good? Now,
Teddy Roosevelt and his 1,000 Rough Riders go to Cuba. The transport ship isn't big enough. 300 guys have to stay behind. Every other guy had to leave his horse behind. So these guys land in Cuba and they get ambushed. They're in a valley between 2 hills where the Spanish have the upper hand. They're sitting ducks. Teddy Roosevelt's men start taking fire. He loses over 200 of his men in this 20 minutes. Teddy Roosevelt rides up to the second in command of the regular army and he says, "We're getting our asses kicked right now. The only way we're gonna survive is if we charge up this hill." And the second in command of the regular army says, "The colonel isn't here to make that call. I can't let you do that." And Teddy Roosevelt says, "I am a colonel. It's my call now." He rides unafraid of bullets to the front lines.
here Teddy Roosevelt is. Here, his history and his people. are standing behind him.
He says, I'm going up this hill, and I'm gonna defeat these Spanish forces. Follow me. And if you turn around, I will shoot you.
So Teddy Roosevelt led this charge, and all of the people followed Teddy Roosevelt up the hill.
They beat back the Spanish forces, and the Spanish forces retreated. But Teddy Roosevelt kept charging, and within 2 weeks, Spain surrendered. When he was 11 years old, Teddy Roosevelt said, if I'm gonna be anything, the thing that I'm gonna be is a badass. And that day, he fulfilled that promise to his young self, and he became a f***ing rock star.
Mark. Mark.
Uh-huh. I'm ready, baby.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. 1836. Enter William Travis. Dodged out on a bunch of business debts, he abandoned his wife and child and headed towards Texas with his slave Joe. Jim Bowie. He forged these documents that he owned all these grants in the United States territory. Jim Bowie's like, yeah, if they're on to me here, I better get to Texas where they're probably not as smart. I'll start doing the same shenanigans down there. Congressman Davy Crockett. Everybody loves this guy. The saying goes, he could kill a grizzly bear with his smile. Well, as it happens, he doesn't get elected for a second term. And he says, you can go to hell. I'll go to Texas. Crockett, Travis, and Bowie head to Texas to take land. Mexico owns the territory of Texas. And the long story short is these guys expel a Mexican army garrison and they take a mission themselves. And that mission is the Alamo. And they hole up in the Alamo. Bowie says, don't worry. There's no way the Mexican army is coming until spring because the winter is too harsh on these high Mexican deserts. But they do come. Santa Anna and his soldiers arrive in San Antonio. They're on his land. And he says to the Alamo defenders, surrender now or you will be killed. Bullshit. Let's fire a cannon shot at Santa Anna and let them know we know business. And fires a cannon. And this pisses off Santa Anna. On February 26, 1836, Santa Anna begins the offensive. He fires cannon volley after cannon volley, beating down the wall of the Alamo. This goes on from February 26, 1836 to March 5th. They're tired. William Travis, in one of his last letters, said, I keep asking for reinforcements and nobody's giving me anything. They send like 30 Tejanos, but I'm screwed. Could you help me out a little bit? No. And then finally, in the early morning, March 6th, General Santa Anna says, I will take my breakfast inside of the walls of the Alamo. And prematurely, one of the soldiers yells, Viva la Santa Anna! And that alerts all of the defenders in the Alamo that the attack is coming. William Travis rallies the troops. Mexicans are 1,800 strong against 200 Alamo defenders made up of Europeans, Jews, 2 slaves, women and children, and Mexicans who just want to fight for their land. There's no way that they can win this. Colonel William Travis, he runs to the front wall and is immediately shot and killed in the very first stages of the attack on the Alamo. And his slave, Joe, is like, well, everybody here is fighting for a bit of land. I'm not gonna get any land, clearly, so I'm gonna not fight. And he took off. The myth has it that Jim Bowie fought to the death. He must have taken out 30 Mexicans with his big knife. The reality is, he had come down with a case of tuberculosis. Jim Bowie was shot on his deathbed. Mexican soldiers breached the wall of the Alamo, and the Alamo defenders realized they have to retreat to the long barracks. So the Mexicans enter the barracks and do away with all of the Alamo defenders in the barracks. And General Santa Anna takes his breakfast inside the walls of the Alamo. And Davy Crockett is captured. Davy Crockett, great American mythological legend, is executed that morning. Because of this, remember the Alamo is used as a rallying cry, and Texas becomes a state. And the thing that we can take from it, academically, historically, how does Davy Crockett like his pie?
How?
Alamo'd.
I gotta go.
Yeah, me too.